girl, and welcome back to She Believed He Could podcast. Real quick, I know that a podcast episode did not go up last week, and I am just truly grateful to know that he loves me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in the world, everybody is just doing. And sometimes you have to realize that you do need to take a break. You do need to take a rest and just be one in the world, just allowing yourself to be free in who you are and what you're called to do. And so if you're constantly just doing, and you're totally missing out on all that God has for you on and off the podcast, on and off the video, on and off social media, or whatever that looks like for you, you want to be sure that you are allowing yourself to check out, check off, sign out of all of the things that would completely deplete your time and your energy. But nonetheless, I am back, and something wonderful happened during last week's Missing in Action episode. I was invited to be a guest speaker at a women's event here in the Dallas Metroplex area called Bloom, and it is hosted by The House on 1905. So shout out to you, Unique, for just sending the invite and just knowing that my heart truly does surrender to God in all that I do. And I'm so excited for this event. It is a women's inner healing event. And I'm excited to be in this atmosphere where women from all over, women from different walks of life, different stories, we can come together and we can talk about our past hurts. We can really start to guide one another in that process of what that looks like. And I am truly honored, and I cannot wait. That event is on November 14th. And so I'm just excited to say yes to God and all of the things that He has for me. And in the midst of me saying yes to this inner healing of a process, God has given me a yes to launching She Believed He Could new website that drops this month, November 30th, which is Cyber Monday. Mark your calendar. New site will be launching. I'm also working behind the scenes on some merch. I have so many creative ideas as to what I would like to push out, just in representation, just as wearing who you are, wearing your faith, declaring some things over your life, all of the cuteness that I love in a t-shirt. I definitely want to get that out to you. In the midst of all of this, the word process kept coming back to me, and God was saying that, She Believed He Could started off as a declaration. We were declaring new faith, new blessings, all of the newness that a spirit should give someone in the presence of God, right? But God was saying, but not without process. And so She Believed He Could is literally a movement of women. We're working through process for purpose. We're shifting the narrative. So we are literally moving from one direction to another. And we're working through what that ground looks like for us. The pain, the hurt, the doubt, the fears, the skeletons in the closet, you name it, all of it. And so we're working through that, but not without a process. And so God gave me a process to what She Believed He could potentially look like for someone else, and I truly believe that ministry first start with you. You are called to be the salt and the lights in the earth, and it starts with you. And so God wouldn't give you anything that He wouldn't do through you first. To you and through you. Because in order for you to have that type of an impact on His people, he needs you to know. He needs you to see and to believe in the very miracles, signs, and wonders. And so I am grateful. I'm so excited. More will be dropping soon in regards to the website and all of the fun things that I have coming up. Nonetheless, I wanted to just jump on and just update y'all as to what is going on. Be sure, if you haven't already, please go over to SheBelievedHeCouldPodcast.com to sign up for all notifications when the new website will be dropping, so that you are one of the first to know what's going on. And so in the midst of me taking time off and really evaluating on the things that God has for me and what He would like for me to do, God was showing me our relationship. And I love that, he as my father and I am daughter. I struggled with that for a long time. I struggled with the idea of intimacy with him because I was so condemned and I was so ashamed of my past hurts and all of the dirt that I walked through to get to that point. I was so ashamed of it. And when I told people and when people hear me say, like, I am the woman at the well, I don't say it to be funny in the midst of her situation with the 5 husbands or anything like that. But truly, God had to reveal something so intimate within her own life for her to believe and for her to see him for who he truly was. So intimacy with God, it often occurs in the places where we must trust him the most. We are trusting God for right now. So where he means for you to draw closer to him, that's what he's going to reveal, to you. He's going to reveal the most intimate part of your life. And with the woman at the well in the book of John, chapter 4, to be exact, it's Jesus and the Samaritan woman. And what I loved about this is that he revealed her marriage and husbands and her not being with any of them. And the man that she was currently with was not her husband. So how intimate is that as a woman? As a woman, like our relationships and our physical relationships that we have with men, like that is something so intimate with us that we don't just share publicly, or we find the most shame in, rather, is that part of our life. So for Jesus to reveal who he was to her in that way, he needed her to know that you came here to draw water, but she was drawn in by the revealing of a dark place. She was drawn in by the revealing of a sunken place that no one could see but Jesus. He revealed the most intimate part of her. And that's why I love this story in the Bible. Because truly that's how I had my first encounter with Jesus. He revealed the most darkest place of my body in time that I was so ashamed of. I was so, I felt guilt. I felt condemnation. I felt dirty. I didn't want people to know. I didn't want to rehash things. And God, revealed himself in those very places. And so what he was showing me is that he was needing me to trust him. What I was praying and believing and hoping in him for then, he was needing me to trust him with all of me. He was needing me to reveal myself to him whole. And I used to think like whole as in I'm fixed. I don't have no more problems. I'm good. No, he needed me to reveal myself to him whole, as in one body. The good, the bad, the ugly, the past hurts, the broken relationships, the sex before marriage, the teenage pregnancy, all of the things. He needed me to reveal myself to him whole. And so I love that Jesus called her out on it at the well. He here in verse 10, after Jesus had asked her for the water. And here in verse 10, it says, if you only knew the gift God has for you and who you are speaking to, you would ask me and I would give you living water. So it's like, despite all of what Jesus knew about her, he said, if you only knew the gift God has for you and who you are speaking to, you would ask me and I would give you living water. And I love that because when we're such in a dark place or in that sunken place, we don't think that we're worthy of anything, let alone a gift from God. You understand? Like, we don't feel ourselves to be capable of love. We don't feel that we are deserving of happiness because of, whatever situation took place or whatever decisions we decided to make. Whatever has us in that place to where we are ashamed and we don't want to be seen and we don't want to be loved. We kind of just want to wiggle our way through until things are better. And so working through a process, it has to be with purpose. You have to know God's promises over your life. And so that's what I love about She Believed He Could, because we're going to be working through process. And I'm going to share more about that in the coming weeks. But I would love to, really open up about what this process looks like, and to know that it's not something that can obtain overnight. It's something that you're constantly working through, something that you're constantly walking out. And you have to know that it's with purpose, on purpose. And we are really applying God's promises over our life. We are declaring some things that are far more richer and greater in the earth than the tangible things. We are planting seeds of hope and encouragement and blessings over our life, that roots are going to run deeper than our past. The roots that are going to run deeper than the love we have for the things of this world. Roots that are going to run deeper for our love for God that no one could have, in our hearts. So until next time, girlfriend, holla.